Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming at you with Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 8 review. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. And if you're returning, also like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for coming back. So let's just get into this episode. I'm going to go couple by couple from the one couple that I think has a chance to make it. And then we're going to go from worst to worst with all the other couples that are just not having what it takes to make it. So first, Camille and Tom, they're the only couple that I have any hope in. And this episode, I kind of saw Camille's point a little bit more about how the cultural difference, affects her and worries her, because she raised a point about Tom frequenting or maybe even taking her to bars that have had bias related incidents in the past. And I know I gave her a little grief last week about questioning Tom's blackness, but if Tom really did take her to the KKK corral and had her feeling like her life was in danger because of his ignorance about that stuff, then he does need to be more mindful of her plight and the danger that his ignorance could put both of them in. So I was actually on Camille's side a little more this episode, and I think they still have a good chance of making it because at the end of the day, they both respect each other, and I think there is some kind of chemistry there. Next couple, actually Michelle and David, they moved up this week because Michelle found some respect and some humility about herself, especially after David's friend humbled her about how her renting is losing money. And, maybe if David, saves up and all stuff, he can buy any house he wants. And he's not being weighed down by debt or putting his money in a hole like she is. And I think she was also humbled when she found out that David was hanging out with Madison and lifting weights with her. So they basically, have a dinner by the end of the episode where she's nicer to him. He makes her food. And it's a big change from him just like trying to do the effort alone, like by writing notes to her. And is she not even writing back? To be fair to her, she did bring up him not coming home to the apartment, even though they share the apartment, but they're in separate beds. So I don't know why it bothered her that much. So maybe she does care a little bit. I don't know. But they get the most improved award for sure. Next couple that is on the worst list, they're probably not going to make it, is Juan and Carla. They're having an issue with that. They have different love languages, right? So Carla's touchy-feely. She likes, physical touch. Juan is not like that. He says he likes acts of service. And it's very sad because you can see the light gone from Carla's eyes this episode. And Juan had more energy and excitement in front of the toilet bowl cleaning it than he had in front of Carla. And that's sad for them. But they're still in the middle of the pack because both of them are still trying. And we saw they at least shared a bed. And they have basic minimum levels of respect right now. But Carla did say, she felt like she kissing her cousin when she was with the girls after that little game. And then Juan said he's not attracted to her. He doesn't know why, because he thinks she's objectively beautiful. So they just have a lot of disconnects from, the love language difference to even the attraction just not growing at all with them. Second to last couple, Madison and Alan. Madison. She did one thing nice in planning that surprise party for Alan, but she then went back to just being negative about him when he didn't show up to that game that she planned. And I just thought she had a lot of nerve being so angry at Alan about the game when she didn't show up for him moving night. So she could have at least had his back that one time he messed up, because she been messing up. And instead of having his back, or at least keeping a united front in public, because a lot of couples, you fall out, but you maintain the united front. Emma and Akechi are having a united front, even though they're last on the list this week. But when it comes to Madison, she dogged Alan out and basically, said that him being drunk was a turnoff, and she basically promised to attack him next week. So Madison don't like that man, and anything he does is gonna be an excuse for her to pull further and further away. So I just can't wait till he catches on to the fact that he don't have a chance with her. And last but not least, Akechi and Imem. Oh, Akechi really tore his draws this episode. Akechi had this mask to be sensitive and artistic. He had all these glasses and hats, to play the part. But when he got in front of her family, shout out to Imem people for ripping his mask off, because he was scared to see them. He was crashing out, but trying to stay calm. But at the end of the day, he repeated one of the worst stereotypes that are around about black women by calling Imem aggressive. Imem has been so kind to him, letting him set the pace about everything. Yes, she shows interest in trying to get more affectionate and physical, but she's never, even spoken harsh to him or about him. So for him to say that about her was horrible. He used the excuse talking about he from the South, he's not used to girls like that. But it's like, you could have stayed in the South. You could have stayed where you was at, but instead you run up north to Chicago. Who did you think you were going to date? You're going to date these northern women, so he has no excuse. He's full of excuses and fakeness, and I'm glad that Imem's family caught him. They're like, you keep saying there's, this weirdness with the experiment, but you signed up for the experiment, so you got to do something about it and make an effort. And I love the line when Imem's people told him, you can't court someone from at home. Imem deserves to be courted. She deserves to feel love. She's been trying to court him, whether she was sucking on a honey pack or trying to ask him questions, getting to know him. He's even complaining about her questions, and he got roasted on after party by all the women. They're like, you saying that, you can't answer questions, and you're not making a safe space for Imem to get to know you, because at the end of the day, it's Akechi's the one who was aggressive with her family, and he's putting up a lot of walls that's making it uncomfortable for Imem. And I'm glad she's starting to get hip to the game, and it looked like next week she's going to check out on him, and I'm glad she's going to do so. But he definitely crossed the line and showed his hoofs to Imem and her family. And now they see that he's a wolf in sheep clothing. He was acting like he's all sensitive. She should have known that all that art and the poem for his wife wasn't about nothing when he wouldn't even show her the poems. I'm still mad about that. And then he finds a reason to be negative to her every week. Last week he talked about how she was mechanical. He needs to see the art in her. This week he talking about she aggressive, which is horrendous to say. And at the end of the day, Akechi was the one who was aggressive with her people, and he's not making an environment for them to get to know each other by jumping into bed at 9 o'clock every night, talking about he got to go to the gym at 5 a.m. When do you have time for Imem? When does she get to know you if she can't ask you questions without you calling her aggressive? How can y'all get physically more intimate when even when she tries to hug you, you're like, get off my booty, my mama gonna see? It's too much. Akechi needs to get off the show. Him and Michelle are my least two favorite people on the show. But Michelle tried harder than Akechi this week, and for that, Akechi is on the bottom. I can't wait till wakes up and is done with him. Say how you feel in the comments. I would be happy if the swap is Imem going to Alan after Madison seems like she's the one that's going to cheat and dip with David. Michelle don't care anything about David, so that don't count as a swap to me. But just the fact that Madison and Alan both might find new people could be the swap that we're looking for, because they said two couples unprecedented. So I think the two couples, it's either going to be Michelle and David, and then just Allison and Madison, or since Michelle and David aren't really a couple. The two couples might be